time of year again. Yep, it is my birthday week. I am turning a year older. I am turning 47 years old this week. And this last year was definitely a doozy of a year that I don't care to repeat. I'm sure a lot of you would probably agree with me. But this last year taught me 4 important things, not only about myself, but about all the other people I have in my life that are around me. And I want to share those things with you because I think they're important. So if you want to hear what I have to say about what this last year taught me as I turn a year older, then keep watching because I'm going to share that with you right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, My Extraordinary Ordinary. My name is Danielle and I am back for another annual birthday video. Last year when I turned 46 years old, I talked about some important life lessons that I had learned through my 46 years. So this year in my birthday video, I want to share with you 4 things that this last year really taught me, not only about myself, but about the other people around me, because I think these are things that not only me, but hopefully you can learn from. And I think that if you look back on your year this past year, even if it was really negative or challenging, you'll find some things that you can learn and grow from too. And I think that's really important for us to do. And I try to do that every year on my birthday as I get older. I think we can all agree that this last year was unlike any other year any of us have experienced, because we went through the pandemic and a lot of unexpected things happened that we couldn't plan for, didn't expect, and didn't really know how to deal with, and it wasn't great. I mean, a lot of us would not ever want to go through that again, and depending on where you live, you might still be in the thick of it. I know that certain areas of the world are still in lockdown. Thankfully, we are not where I live. I'm so grateful for that. This particular summer has been so much fun, especially because last summer we didn't get to go and do a lot of the things that we really enjoy in the summer. I will say that summer is my favorite time of year. It's my favorite season. One of the reasons is because it is my birthday, and I believe that no matter what age you are, whether you are 90 or 9 years old, birthdays are meant to be celebrated. Birthdays are for fun. I do it in all of my group exercise classes. I really enjoy it. So I do look forward to my birthday every year. And this year is so different because I think last year I really had to introspect and think about this past year and think about, although it was highly negative in many ways, and I'll tell you that outside of the pandemic and dealing with all the challenges that brought, I had a lot of personal challenges in my life over this last year. And if you look back on my channel, a lot of my videos that I did over this last year talked about dealing with adversity, dealing with difficult situations, getting back up, dealing with struggles, dealing with loss, because those are the things that myself and my family really went through this last year. So outside of the pandemic, I would say that this last year for our family was a challenge, and I think we're all really grateful as a family to be past a lot of the challenging things that we went through and looking forward to more exciting and positive things to come in this upcoming year. So without further ado, let's jump right in and let me share those 4 things I want to share with you. The first thing that I really learned and that this past year really taught me is not to get too comfortable and not to get too satisfied where you are, and not to ever think that your situation won't change or can't change, because even when things are going good, and I think especially when things are going good, when you're feeling on top of the world, when you're feeling like you are at your pinnacle, when you have everything that you could possibly want, don't take it for granted. Don't think that it's always going to be there, because at any given moment all of it could disappear. And it makes me think of the story of Job in the Bible, and I don't know if you know that story, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about. Job was a man in the Bible who really loved God. He was a very devout Christian, and he lost everything in his life that he valued. He lost his money, he lost his land, he lost all of his animals and his crops, and he ended up even losing his family. And in the end, he still trusted God. He still believed that everything could be restored. And I'm not going to tell you how the story ends. If you don't know, you should read it in the Bible. It's in the book of Job. But it has a really happy ending. But my point is that don't ever think just because things are good in your life, or just because your life is exactly how you want it, that it's always going to be that way. We always have to approach our life with a grateful heart, with gratitude, and really hold on to the things we have close to our heart, because we never know when they're going to be gone. And I can cite several examples this past year of things that happened that we didn't expect, that were shocking, that really rocked our family to the core and really made us realize that we need to appreciate every moment, every person, everything we have when we have it, because we may not always have it. One of the things I'm talking about here is the loss of my job. Now, initially, in the beginning of 2020, I was so excited about my life. I felt so happy. That year for Christmas, I had given my boys the gift of a cruise. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that I would be able to gift my boys such a vacation, and never in my life had I taken a vacation like that. I was so excited. We had just come back from the cruise. It was a wonderful time. We were so happy, and I felt really happy and satisfied with where I was in life and what was going on in my life. And we came back to the pandemic. Now, if you want to find out kind of where I was and the fact that I didn't know anything about COVID or about what was going on with the pandemic, it was because we were out of the country on this cruise and we didn't have access to the internet or to email or text or anything like that. We weren't watching the news because we were on vacation. We were doing other things, so we had no idea. And so my very first video on YouTube talked about our experience and how we found out about the pandemic and about COVID and how it impacted us, not knowing anything about it and coming back from this cruise and finding out about it. So you can go ahead and watch that. I will link it below and above. Keep in mind that particular video is my very first video on YouTube, so it's a little rough, but you will get the message that I'm trying to convey in that video, and you can find out about our experience and kind of how we took things and how we found out about COVID. But it was really challenging, and it was a total shock because we had no idea. And so in that instant, coming back from the cruise, my life changed completely forever in a way I could have never imagined. The very next day, my kids didn't have school. They were schooled virtually. We had to quarantine. We couldn't leave our home because we'd been out of the country on this cruise. And the day after that, I lost my job because the gym I worked at closed because we were quarantined. And all of a sudden, everything I valued in my life, everything I loved about my life was totally ripped away from me. I lost my income. I lost something meaningful that gave my life meaning that I really enjoyed, which was my job. And all of a sudden, my family was home altogether, and our life as we knew it completely changed. And everything up until that point that I had really enjoyed about my life, that I had taken for granted, was gone. And I became initially very depressed and kind of lost and didn't really know what to do. But that kind of brings me to my next point, or my sub point, I guess, in this video would be that don't take things in your life for granted. Don't assume that things are always going to stay the same. Don't assume that you're always going to love your life, and if you like your life the way it is now, that you're always just going to have everything you want and need in life. Things can change at any given time, and there's lots of things in life that can happen or that will happen that are completely out of your control, no matter how organized you are, no matter how efficient you are, no matter how much money you have or what kind of skills you have. Things in life sometimes happen that are completely out of our control, that we can't anticipate, that we don't know, that can change our life forever. Don't take things in your life that you love for granted. Really embrace them, really be thankful. And when things don't go the way you planned, and when your whole life changes and everything you know about your life, everything you love about your life is maybe taken away or changed, you have to learn to embrace that, and you have to learn to adapt and pivot and do something else. And had it not been for the quarantine, my whole journey on YouTube would have never started. And so for that, I am so grateful, because I do love this platform. I do love doing YouTube videos, and I would have never learned the skill. I would have never been able to do this, because it takes a lot of time to learn how to do this and to create the videos and the content and edit them and everything that goes into YouTube. Had I not been quarantined and had I not had my life as I knew it taken away, I would have never done that. And so the first thing I really learned about myself was that I really can't be doing that. I can't take everything I know in my life for granted and think it's always going to be there and it's always going to be the same. And the second thing that I found out about myself along the same vein was that when my circumstances changed and when everything I loved and knew about my life was taken away, I did have the strength and I did have it within me to embrace change and adapt and figure out something new that I could do. And I'm a person that doesn't like change. I really, really don't. I really resist it. It's really hard for me. But I learned that when I had to do it and when I didn't really have any other options, I could do it. And you know what? I bet you can too if you're in that situation. And even if you're someone like me who hates change, who isn't really good at it, when you have to, if you have to, for your survival, for your sanity, for your mental and emotional health, you can do it just like I did. The second thing I learned about myself over this last year was that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes we look at other things in life, other people in life, other situations in life, and we think, if only I could have that situation, if only I could be with that person, if only I could have this or that, my life would be better. It would be exactly as I want it. It would be perfect. And if we're not careful, we can really get into this toxic mindset where we really think that something that we don't have or someone that we don't have in our life will be a better fit for us, will be what we need, what we want, will make our life complete, will make our life better. And sometimes, oftentimes I believe, that's not the case. Sometimes the very best things in our life are right in front of us, and it really is up to us to make those things, to make those people that are in our lives the best things for us and the best fit for us. And I believe that God does have a plan, and this is something that I really learned about myself this last year, is not to go looking at other people or other things thinking that something else will always be necessarily better for me. And remember that not everything that you think that is better is really better. A lot of times the things that we think are better are represented on social media, and we forget that we only see the very best things on social media. We don't see the real day-to-day on social media. We see the best and we see the highlight reel of everybody else's life. So we don't see their day-to-day, and we don't see their struggles and their trials, and we don't see the things about their situations that aren't glam and glitter and that aren't the best. I probably have the best things and the best people in my life right in front of me, and just because something is different doesn't make it better, and it doesn't make it right for me. And sometimes things are not always as they seem. Sometimes you think that a better situation is out there. Sometimes you think that a better person for you is out there, but the situation isn't what you think it is. And when you really find out what it is, then it's too late, and you realize, I really had everything I needed, everything I actually wanted right in front of me, and I would hate to see something like that happen to you. So I guess what I learned, and I guess what I would encourage you, is that when you get in that situation where you're really dissatisfied with your life, maybe you're really dissatisfied with the people you have in your life, whether they be co-workers or your kids or your spouse or your significant other or even friends you have in your life, look at what they can offer you that is positive. We have to remember a lot of times, like I did, that sometimes the best things that we have are right in front of us, and we have to appreciate and embrace those things and be so grateful for the people and the things that we have, instead of wishing and wanting things that we don't have and thinking that our situation would be improved or be better if we had other people in our life or if we had other things that we don't have. And that is one thing I really learned, and I've really been trying to be mindful about the way I consume products and things, and also the way that I deal with the people in my life. And I'm learning to be grateful and so happy for what I have, even if it's not what somebody else has. It's what I have, and it's the best for me right now. Everything I needed, everything I really wanted in my life, and everything I could hope for was actually right in front of me. The third thing I learned this past year that was so valuable to me really goes along with that, and that is I really learned what amazing people I had in my life to support me, to be there for me, my family, my friends, my co-workers, my husband, everybody around me. And I had a personal situation this last year that was really horrible and really horrendous. And I really found out that the people I've surrounded myself with are amazing. And when they needed to, they were really willing and able to step up to the plate to support me, to be there, and to really be my best cheerleaders and my best support. And especially my husband. I found out some things about him that I never knew in 7 years of marriage, and it made me really appreciate him and also really respect the person that he is. And I think sometimes when we look at other situations or look at other people as being better than what we have, we don't realize and we can't really see the best things that are right in front of us. So that is the third really valuable thing that I learned about myself and about the people I have in my life this last year. And I'm so appreciative and grateful now for the people I have in my life and for what they bring to my life, because it is the absolute best that I could ever hope for, and I'm so happy about that. And the last thing that this year really showed me is that new beginnings are always possible. When you have something in your life that you think is completely unsalvageable, when you think that you're at your rope's end, when you think that things can't get better, Absolutely 100% they can. You never know when someone or something in your life is going to help you turn the corner, when things can change for you, when people will change. Sometimes when God's timing seems completely off or his timeline seems endless and super long, he knows exactly what he's doing, and new beginnings always can happen. They are possible, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I learned that this year and that God revealed that to me, because that is something that has completely changed the fabric of my life. And if I had to go through all of the challenges and trials and everything I had to go through this last year to see that and to learn that, it was all worth it. And I'm so grateful for that. So I want to encourage you, if you're in that situation where you think there's no way that I could have a second chance, there's no way that I could have a new beginning, or that things could be different for you, that's not the case. I want to encourage you that that's absolutely 100% not the case, and that is something so valuable, and probably the most valuable thing that this last year taught me. So you guys, there you have it. Those are the 4 things that this last year taught me, and I'm really looking forward to growing another year older and hopefully maybe wiser. We'll see. But let me know in the comments below, what things did you learn about yourself this last year that really helped you grow as a person? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching and spending some precious time with me today. I will look forward to seeing you in my next video, and remember to make your everyday ordinary life extraordinary. Okay, I have to finish up this video because my son's standing here and he's making me laugh. But anyway, okay. Oh, come here, Titus. Come here. Oh, I love my kids, and I'm so grateful to have them in my life. So
I love Isaac and...
What? Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So as you can tell, my family. Okay. And remember to make your everyday ordinary life. That's okay, honey. No problem. Hold on. I have to wait for the siren. Hold on. Dan, give me 1 second. I'm just finishing. Give me 1 second.